Good morning, everybody. It is Chelsea Face here. I'm very excited. I got up kind of early this morning. Sorry, I'm not made up or pretty or anything, but I wanted to just tell you guys about my year in 2020 as far as my books go. I did use most of the stats that Goodreads gave me for this, but there are some that I might have thrown in here. I will preface this by saying I read like one more book, maybe two, after I wrote down all of these stats, so they're not 100% accurate. But I wanted to share them with you anyway. Next year I'll do them after I finish reading. I legitimately thought I was done reading for the year, but one book just caught me off guard and I could not stop reading it, so I had to do that. I have a freshly brewed cup of coffee with me here. I'm just gonna, chill, take my time with this, have a good time. And at the end of the video, I want to tell you a couple of bookish goals that I have for myself for the year of 2021. When I wrote down the stats for this video, I had read a total of 115 books. This includes comics, graphic novels, manga, and regular books. I lump all of them together so they do count as individual books, and blown away by that number for myself. I think that was extremely well done. I always set my goal to 50 because I think 50 is a reasonable, reachable goal for myself. And I think that even if I had something going on in my life this past year, that I could get 50 done. And the past 2 years I've done that. Last year I think I did 80 something books, and this year I did 115-ish. So I'm pretty proud of myself. I think that I'm getting faster with my reading. I definitely read a lot more manga this year than last year, and I don't know if I read more books. Maybe I wrote that down, but yeah, I'm still very excited with how many books I read. Okay, here we go. I have the actual numbers of what I read. I read 79 manga, which I know part of that is thanks to the 25 days of manga, the readathon that happened during Christmas, and part of it was because I'm just getting more into manga. If you didn't know that, I would say at least half of my channel is based around manga. I really enjoy the format, and I think that a lot of people don't give it enough credit. I want more people to read it. There are so many different types and so many different genres. It's for every age. Like you can find one that fits your demographic very easily if you know what you're looking for, or just search around on YouTube or search engines or something, because I read all different genres and all different age groups, so I might not be the best person to come to for a very specific type of manga. But if you like all types of manga, or if you're just very curious about what manga can be, give me a follow if you're not already following me, because I talk about it a lot and I like to give everything its fair chance. I like older series, I like new series. Really want more people to read manga. I read almost 80 volumes. I think that speaks a lot to how much it means to me. I read 28 books, so like a physical flip through only words book. And I don't know if that's more or less than last year. I'll try to put the number here of how many I did last year if I can think to do that, and if not, sorry. I'm still really proud of that number. I think that almost 30 full read books in a year is pretty good for me. I think that I have problems paying attention at times. I don't know if I have ADD or if I literally just struggle with paying attention, but ever since I was little I've had issues and I just never got looked at or diagnosed or anything. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I have something when I don't know if I do. But I do struggle with attention retention, I guess is the way to say it. I don't know. And I think that me having read 28, close to 30 books in a year is pretty great, even if they aren't like the biggest books. Sometimes I get in the mood to read a big book, but most of the time I stick to like 300 to 400 pages. That's like a typical book for me, I think. I mean, if you don't count manga, those are shorter. And as far as graphic novels go, slash comics, I combined those. I read 9 of those. So that is a decent number, I guess. I would like to read more of them, but I have trouble finding ones that I think I'll enjoy. So if you have any comic or graphic novel, especially recommendations, any age group, I don't care. Let me know in the comments below, because I love a good graphic novel or a comic. I read 28,050 pages this year, so that's pretty cool. I'm happy with that number. I think it could have been higher with the number of books I read, but the fact that most of the books that I read were manga lets me know that that's why the page count is as low as it is. because manga can be anywhere from like 120 to 270 pages. So they're not super, super long, and they're mostly visual. So you fly through those very quickly, but also they don't count as much towards your goal. But I'm not hurt by that. I don't do the challenge to have a huge number. I do it to challenge myself and to grow as a person personally. So I'm very happy with those numbers. I read 27 adult books, 9 middle grade books, 88 YA books, which is probably mostly the manga, 35 fantasy books, 17 horror books, 14 thrillers, 13 contemporaries, 9 science fiction books, 60 romance, which I think is mostly my shoujo, if I had to guess, and 44 comedies. So I think my highest genres here would be comedy, romance, and fantasy, which is surprising enough because I see myself as more of a horror thriller person, but manga had a lot to do with that, and I've only recently gotten into a few horror manga. So I don't like reading a ton of romance as far as books, like no picture books. I'd read them sometimes, but I don't pick them up typically. I prefer my romance in my manga. I think that something about it just clicks better with me, and I guess I just like seeing the emotion and the interaction between characters that way. And with horror and stuff, it can be any genre and I'll love it. So I think that really speaks to how picky I am more than anything. Everybody has their different ways of absorbing information, and I think that that's probably the best way that I absorb romance. So that's pretty interesting to read. And I read mostly YA. I do really enjoy YA. I know that I am older, and a lot of people I watch are getting to be to the point to where they don't want to read YA anymore. Booktubers that I enjoy here, I'm not going to name any names because, whatever. They have recently just stopped reading YA almost altogether, like at least 4 of them that I watch. And they're about my age, maybe a little younger, maybe a little older. And I understand that a lot of people don't want to read YA anymore, especially if they're past their 30s or 40s. I understand that, but I personally am not there yet. I started my reading journey a lot later than a lot of people probably did, so I'm still really enjoying YA, and I think that I'm going to continue it until I do not like it anymore. And I hope that you guys will understand if I end up being a 40-year-old woman who still reads YA, because that's what I like to read right now. And I do still really love adult books, and I love middle grade. I see no reason to force myself to grow up with my reading tastes unless I just want to. And I don't want anyone to ever feel like they have to do that because the internet forced them or pressured them to read more maturely. I think that a lot of people I really look up to read middle grade only, and I just want people to read what they want to read. Don't let people pressure you. Don't pressure others. Just enjoy reading. It is a healthy, very nice habit to have. I just want people to be happy with the reading. Pretty much. That's what I'm saying here. I'll give you my star ratings as far as like how many I gave each star, because I think that's interesting for this year. I do have another video based off of this information. I had 53 5 stars. That's a lot, you guys. I don't know if you know that, but that is a huge number, especially for, I think, someone who tries to put a lot of thought into their ratings. I actually try really hard to think about how I feel about this title, how it was made, and what rating I should give it. I try to give that a lot of thought. I try not to just willy-nilly throw out 5 stars, but this year was an extraordinary reading year. I had 41 4 stars, still really high. 23 stars, that's pretty average, 3 stars an average book for me, 2 to 3. 21, 20 books, that sounds pretty good. I had 2 stars. And 0 1 stars. That's astounding to me. I can't believe that I didn't read a single 1-star book this year. And you know why those stats were so high? I'll be honest. I become more comfortable with DNFing books. I have sat down with myself, had a little cup of tea, told myself that if you're going to be reading a lot, don't force yourself to read things that you're not enjoying. If you get 100 pages into a book and you hate it, or an hour or 2 into an audiobook and you hate it, just stop reading it. Put it in your DNF shelf on Goodreads, and then at the end of the year, you can talk about it with your friends and family and stuff. And that's what I'm doing. I don't think I'm going to force myself to read books unless I just have a very specific reason that I'm reading it, maybe like a reading vlog, and I want to give you guys my full thoughts on it. But if I'm just reading it to read it and I hate it, I'll save it till the end of the year and tell you why I don't like it. That is the reason why my ratings are so high, because I just stopped reading books that I didn't like. I read things that I thought I would love this year, and I hope to be a little bit more experimental this year, but I still am going to read a lot of things that I love. My shortest book, according to Goodreads, is Batman the Killing Joke. It was 50 pages. I guess I believe that. Sometimes Goodreads is off with their page count and also with the stats they give you. I tried to keep all of the information, like the dates read and stuff, accurately done, because I know that that has something to do with how many books it says you've read in a year. But I still think that the page counts are wrong, because I was literally reading a book the other day and I checked my pages and then I checked Goodreads and it was like 100 off. So I just want you guys to know that like it's not entirely accurate. You have to like keep that in mind when you're looking at your stats. So if you write everything down or put it in a spreadsheet, that's probably a lot more accurate than using Goodreads. So I might start doing that this year to see the exact numbers, because I think that would be a little more interesting to actually see my numbers. And since the beginning of the new year, I can do that. But yeah, 50 pages, short comic. I think that it is well renowned. I think I might have given it 3 stars or something. My longest book was My Brother's Husband. It was 704 pages. This is a graphic novel manga that I won like through a Goodreads or something. And it's like 2 volumes of manga put together, like a completed little series, and it's really good. It's about a man who, his brother is gay, and I think he was married. Yeah, he was married to this man, and this man comes to visit him because the brother has died. And so he's just wanting to get closer and get to know his late husband's brother and his family, his niece, I guess. And it's just a very heartbreaking, sweet, loving story. A man who was kind of homophobic at the beginning. He learns a lot about gay people and a lot about this man and his brother, and how he was misconception about a lot of things, and how he didn't know a lot of things and didn't understand the things that they go through just because they're alive and they love who they love. I just really thought this story was beautiful. So I do recommend that if you want to check it out. I gave it a really high rating. My average book length was 243 pages, which would be about a manga's length. So that's not really that surprising. I think that, most manga are around the 200 and something page mark. So yeah, makes sense to me. Most popular, I'm not going to say the name of the book or the author of the book because they are not a nice person and I'm trying not to promote them. But I read a wizard book this year and it's the most popular. I think it had like over 1 million shelves. People had put it on their shelves. But it was the first wizard book, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm still reading those because I want to understand references to those books in literature or whatever, but I'm not going to promote them here personally. I'm going to try not to on my Instagram. I've done it in the past, but I don't think I have a need to do that now. So I'm trying really hard not to mention that author or their work verbatim, just kind of, let you know that's what I read, I guess. But I read that, and I'm getting them all used, by the way, so I'm not giving her any of my money. I don't think I've ever given her my money because, I don't know, it just never happened that way. So all of these have been given to me from someone, so no worries there. They were gifts. And yeah, the least popular book I read was the newest volume of Shortcake Cake, which is volume 10. I know like the only reason that it's on the lowest is because it's new and hasn't had the time to have people add it to the shelves yet. This series, I haven't heard a ton of people talking about it, but it's really good. I recommend it if you want a nice little fluffy shoujo that's also got a little bit more darker side to it. It's got some characters who aren't your typical shoujo protagonists, in my opinion. I think it's really unique and cute, and it's going to be really short, probably less than 14 volumes. So yeah, we're very close to the end here. And my average rating for the year would be 4.3 stars. That's high. That is really high. I think that it's alarming to me how high that is. I feel like maybe I'm being a little too generous with my 4 and 5 stars, but like I said before, I feel like I am thinking about what I want to read more, and I am reading things that I really think I'm going to like. I'm not wasting my time with books that I think might not be good, and a lot of that was manga, so I give manga really high ratings because I enjoy it most of the time. Like there's some that I've given 2 and 3 stars, but I just really love the manga I've been reading, and I love the books I've been reading this year. So it makes sense to me, even though it's a little shocking that my ratings are that high, and I don't want to feel like I'm not rating harshly enough, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't want to give books lower ratings just because I want to be meaner. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue rating books the way that I feel necessary and explain in my Goodreads, and I try to here why I'm rating them as high or as low as that I am. I think that that's pretty much my stats for the year on Goodreads. And now I kind of want to shortly go over a couple of bookish goals with you guys. I didn't sit down and really plan this part of the video. I just wanted to kind of spitball some ideas with myself in front of you because I don't know, I just really want to improve this year. This year I think is the year of change for me as far as my reading and booktube goes and Instagram and stuff, and I really want my channel to grow. It's kind of been just a side project for fun up until now, but I really want to deep dive into this and make this a real thing that I do at least twice a week. I would like to have minimum 2 videos a week posted, my first goal. Sometimes more, depending on if I have time on the weekend or during the week to film a vlog or something. Vlogs I think are going to be a little bit extra content if I already have 2 videos planned. I don't want to burn myself out, but I think 2 is a attainable goal. I think that I have the passion to film that much. If something's going on, I'll let you guys know. I should be getting 2 videos up a week. So yeah, I have a bunch of new ideas for videos I want to create. So I'm very, very excited to film those very soon because I've just got to finish all of these end of the year videos and then I can start new content. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. I have a local bookstore so I can do more hauls. I hope that the content that I bring you will be enjoyable and that you will subscribe if you're not, because I just really, really enjoy doing this. I think that books have become a huge part of my life now, and I just want more people to read and to, listen to what I have to say about these books and to promote these books. I have like a really big passion, especially for manga, to get people to read it and to give it a shot. And, comics and graphic novels too. There are so many booktubers who don't enjoy the visual aspect of books and they just read regular books, which is totally fine if that's your cup of tea. But I think that people need to give it a chance. They need to give a few different genres, a few different age groups a shot and see if it's something they're into, and then you can write it off forever. Just give it a shot. That's all I ask. I'm an advocate for manga here. Another bookish goal, I have a rolly book cart right here. My mother got me one of those craft carts, and if you don't know, on Instagram, a lot of people put their books in these, like their TBR that they currently have unread. And I did that. So all of my books, except for a few that I just bought yesterday with my Christmas money, are in this cart. And I'm going to try to stick to books that fit in this cart if I can help it, and read more from my physical TBR this year, because I have I think it's 50 plus. I did whittle it down from 60 and I am constantly hauling and unhauling books. I think that that's an attainable goal. A lot of these are R.L. Stine, like Fear Street and Goosebump books that I've collected, and yeah, those are pretty short, so I can whittle through some of those this year. I just really want to read things from my actual library and get those done and put on my already read shelf. Also collect physical copies of books that I've listened to that I really enjoyed, so I'm using like store credit whenever I trade in books I don't want to get the ones that I've already listened to. So this is just going to be books that I loved and I'm keeping. And if I hated the book, I will unhaul it or sell it or something. That's pretty much the goal, is to only keep things I like. I set my Goodreads goal to 50 again this year. Like I said, I think that's very attainable and reachable for myself. And I've already read, I think, 2 this year. So that's pretty good. Good goings. We're only at January 3rd today. And I hope that I can continue on that. I'm in the middle of a short story collection that I received as a Christmas gift from a good friend, and it's very good so far, and I'm excited to tell you guys about it. But I think that's pretty much my bookish goals, unless I'm forgetting something. If I am, I'll throw in a little video at the end here. But that's it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed my stats for the year, and I hope you're having a good week, weekend, weekday, weeknight, whenever you are watching this. I hope you guys have had a great reading year and that you will subscribe to my channel. I know that that's something that every booktube, every YouTube person says, but I genuinely want my channel to grow, and I think that if I could get to a point to where this is actually producing some type of monetary value, like making money, obviously, I could put more money towards video content, and I could pay to do some fun challenges with my husband. There's a couple of really fun ideas that I have that would involve a decent amount of money. I'm not going to die if those things don't happen, but I do have some really fun ideas that I think could be really cool if I got to a point to where I made just a little bit of cash here. So that's also a goal, is to eventually make enough money to fund some videos. I'll be real honest with you. Like, I don't do this 100% to not get money eventually, and I 100% don't do this just to get money. This is both. I really, really love what I'm doing, and also I would like to fund future projects. So yeah. I just want to be real with you guys. I'm not a person who wants to pretend that I'm not doing something for the right reasons or the wrong reasons. I want to be honest, and I think that, everybody has their motivations, and I just want to bring more fun, funny content, and I think that money has a lot to do with that sometimes. Those are some ideas I have, and maybe eventually one day I'll get to the point where I make a little bit so that I can do those. I hope you guys will understand, and if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It lets me know what kind of content you guys really enjoy here, and it'll help me curate the videos in the future. If you've read any books that you think I should read, let me know, because some people have told me some really, really good ones this year. Let me know in the comments below, and I might look into those and see if they're ones I have to add to my TBR. I think I do get 2 free months of Kindle Unlimited because I do have like a e-reader now, so that's exciting. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.